We're complaining as journalists, George. This is a huge departure from past administrations who traditionally, presidents have called on the Associated Press, have called on wire services, but they're cherry picking the questions, basically. They're not getting tough questions in these press conferences on basically the news of the day. We didn't see any real questions on Flynn yesterday, and that's a problem, George, when there are real answers that this administration knows about who knew what when.
To me, it's not about whether Cecilia Vega gets to ask a question or John Carl gets asked a question or ABC. It's about no one that has an antagonistic question get answered. I mean, to me, there's two ways that you undermine the First Amendment. There's a full frontal assault on the First Amendment that we see in basically autocratic countries. That's not what's going on here. There's a subtle undermining of the First Amendment. The subtle undermining of the First Amendment is you call everything fake news that disagrees with you, and you don't call on any reporters that might ask you a question that is at all aggressive and might point out some factual defend that it's going to be effective.
Well, and it might be for the base, and it has been up until now. I don't know how long you can sustain it. I don't know, frankly, how much longer a lot of reporters and media in these briefings and in these press conferences will tolerate this. What you're seeing now is reporters standing up and shouting questions at the president, trying to get his attention. I don't know how much longer he can refuse to answer them.
Thank you, Matthew Dodd. Thanks very much. Let's go to Michael.
All right.
Okay, so what we're experiencing this morning on tabloid news is a bunch of reporters whining and crying because they can't get in there and get their questions answered. It's getting worse and worse for the regular mainstream media because all they want to do is dishonestly cover Donald Trump. They want to continue to support this idea of the liberal left losing and Donald Trump unfairly winning, and that he is an illegitimate candidate. It's 24/7 on the news, continuing to talk bad about Donald Trump, continuing to point out the things that have failed. Okay, granted, I'm not particularly fond of his education secretary. I'm not particularly fond of a couple of people in his cabinet. But do we have to continue this process of constantly, every day, 24/7, whine and cry about not getting fair coverage, about reporters crying and crying about how they can't get their questions answered? Hey, maybe they need to stop treating them so unfairly. Maybe they need to stop lying about them. Maybe they need to be a little bit more honest. Maybe they need to have some fair and balanced coverage. Maybe they need to start pointing out some of his accomplishments. Maybe they need to start pointing out some of the good things that are happening in America instead of sowing the seeds of division. No wonder they're failing. No wonder they're failing. You can keep tuning in to people like me and get all the news you want. I'm going to give you about pretty much as I can give you on this limited budget that we have here at All Americans First News and over there at my other channel, Johnny Jetrod the Patriot. So I just want you to understand that it's tabloid news today. These are not real journalists. They're a bunch of whiny, crybaby, liberal leftists. Remember George Stephanopoulos. He is a Democratic operative, used to be Slick Willie's press secretary. What's that tell you about him? Anyway, that's my report for you this morning. It's early this morning down here in FEMA Region 6. My name is Johnny Jetrod the Patriot. Thank you, America.